You know what? I don't even want to do this clip. I really don't, because taking this whole thing apart point by point is going to be so easy that it's almost not even worth the effort. Then again, if I don't, who else out there is going to do this? So I guess we may as well go ahead and get started. First point, please. Go.
Atheists can make moral decisions based on the specific context.
Oh, okay. So whatever you do at any given moment, it will always be the right thing because you say it is. Gee, how convenient that it fits within your context. And after all, why shouldn't it? You're just following your heart and letting it innately guide you to do exactly the right thing at just the right time for just the right reason. Gee, I can almost hear all of those sex offenders, pedophiles, religious terrorists, and drug traffickers the world over cheering you on for that one. We keep going.
For example, if you were living in Germany, hiding Jews in your attic during the Holocaust, and Hitler's Nazis knocked on your door and asked if you were hiding Jews, would it be okay to lie and save the lives of the Jews in your attic?
Absolutely not. I would tell them the truth. I would sit them down and tell them the ultimate, highest truth about the saving grace of the Lord Jesus Christ. Then they wouldn't want to kill anybody anyway. All right, so that takes care of that. Next point. We're going to skip through some of this stuff because it's kind of dry, but this is getting pretty good.
Atheists do not live with the fear of hell.
Well, you know what? Neither do I, and neither do any of the Christians around the world either. You see, the Bible teaches us, and Christianity teaches its followers, that if you truly believe, then you have nothing to fear because God's saving grace saves you from that fate. There's a verse in the Bible, I believe it's John 3:16. I invite you or anybody else to check it out if you are so inclined. Next. Alright, we'll...
Raise your children according to your
something about the
values,
kids, yada yada.
As though you have to defend Bible stories that even a child can see are fiction.
Okay.
Atheists do good deeds, not because it's mandated, but because it arises freely from their own sense of goodwill.
Oh, okay. So you do good deeds from your own reservoir of inner goodness. Well, okay, maybe you do. I'm not trying to discount that, but what I'm saying is, so what? It doesn't make you any better than me, and you seem to be taking a position that the desire to do good for its own sake is a higher motive than when me or my friends do something out of a sincere desire to please a higher power. Once again, how convenient for you, as that leaves you as the person who is coming from that much higher place. You then ramble on for a few minutes and you conclude with some line about how it's so much better to give your money to a real charity than to give it to some church who's just going to probably throw it away. But wait a minute, you're an atheist. What do you even know about what churches do with their funds in the first place? You probably haven't even darkened the door of a church in the last 20 years. You don't know what you're talking about. Come on. I found that to be a little bit judgmental on your part. And this whole middle section of your video, you didn't actually mean any of that, did you? Next. Coming up here at about 6:43, it gets pretty good. Here we go.
New answers every day. We can rest assured that just because we don't know the origin of the universe, we don't have to put a God in that place.
Science continues to advance and come up with new answers, and just because you don't know the origin of the universe doesn't mean you have to put a God in its place. Okay, fair enough. But this isn't about putting a God in. This is about you ruling a God out. And the fact that you are not even willing to consider that possibility, you rule it out while calling me an idiot for ruling it in, is just a little bit disingenuous on your part. Okay, now I think we're coming up to, I think, the very best part of your clip right here. And we keep moving. Here it comes.
None. We know that we are learning more every day. Atheists know that sin doesn't exist and that you can do all the natural things that religion teaches as sin.
Okay, and this is my very favorite. I'm going to show you the picture that they put up with this one. There it is. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know, this is where you really gave yourself away. This whole video that you put up, it's not even about whether or not God actually exists at all, is it? No, it's just about pulling some tail, that's all. And the big twist here is I could have actually been so much more supportive of you for that if you had just come right out and said that at the top of your video. Instead, you try to take this central point and sneak it in like you did through the back door, if you'll pardon the expression. Sneak it in through the back door of your clip while taking your whole atheistic outlook and reducing it to where it's nothing more than just a doorstop to prop up your own selfish desire to just pull as much tail as you possibly can in this life. Come on. Is that really what it's down to with you guys?
Obviously, I'm not talking about murder or crimes. You can be yourself. You don't have to pretend. You can have all the wild, kinky sex you want.
Once again, your words, sir, not mine. I'm sorry, what was that? Huh? Oh, that was all those pedophiles out there. They're cheering you on some more for that one. Okay. Finally, the last point here.
Responsibility for our own actions, too.
Something about responsibility, yada, yada, yada.
To please an imaginary being.
Okay, here he comes.
Atheists are not chained by the guilt of the original sin dogma. You no longer have to view man as being in a fallen state.
Well, you know what? I'm not chained by that guilt either. Now, I know I've been kind of glib and sort of tongue-in-cheek through this whole thing. Sorry, that's just the way I am. But please don't think that I'm not being for real here. I meant everything I said. But on a much more serious note here, I have no problem with original sin or the fallen state of mankind because I wasn't there. I had nothing to do with bringing it on. Okay, fine. On the other hand, I also had nothing to do with the redemption of man because I wasn't there either. So if those two things cancel each other out, then it's basically a wash. But that still leaves me right here at this moment with a very real choice to make about whether to accept or reject God's saving grace. You know what? Maybe this is where you get to turn this all back around on me and call me disingenuous for the way I'm hedging my bets like this. Okay, and you know what? I'll take that. That's fair, but here's the difference. At least with me, I am being open, honest, and upfront about my own disingenuousness, while you, on the other hand, are taking everything that you believe but can't prove and serving it up to all these people as if it were empirical truth. And that leaves you, sir, not me. That leaves you as the totally one-sided, completely dogmatic, biased, fundamentalist atheist. And it leaves me, ironically, as the real free thinker in this moment. But don't worry, it's still okay. I'll be praying for you. And in the meantime, I hope that you and everybody else who sees this has a very safe, happy, and absolutely wonderful Christmas holiday. In our home, Jesus is the reason for the season. Take it or leave it. Steve out.